Hello and blessings, beautiful souls. So it is springtime here in lovely Tasmania, and despite the fact that I still have the fire going inside, I do have some spring decks that I would like to show you. These are decks that have been in my collection for a little while, that are new to me, that were old favorites, and you know, just a little selection of decks that I will be using this spring, and I thought that I would share that with you. And keep an eye out because I will also be doing a tarot version of this, the tarot decks that I'm going to be using for this spring season. So let's get inside because I'm outside without a jumper on, and it looks sunny, but it's cold and I'm not used to it. Here we are inside now, cozy, the fire is going, everything is looking very springtime inside, thanks to my darling daughter who went out and picked these beautiful flowers for me. And this one here too, which is absolutely darling. And this one here too. Oh, she did such a great job. So before we begin, let's honor the sacred space that we have just created with the aid of my beautiful darling daughter. And let's get stuck into some of the decks that I have selected for myself to work with this particular springtime. So here we go, here we go. Ah, that's nice. And I might just give it a little spritz with this AN spray. Just make it all feel good. And now that oh, that's so fragrant. So let's start off with this beautiful deck here. This is the Oracle of Echoes by Tourian. So I have recently done a review on the Oracle of Echoes, but whether or not it goes up before you see this is not that important. The important thing to note is that there is a review of this deck coming. I think that this deck is absolutely stunning. I think that it is one of the most well-balanced Oracle decks out there that I have at least had the pleasure of working with. I find the artwork really evocative. I find it really diverse. I find the keywords to be very, very unique. There are some keywords in here that I've never seen in an Oracle deck before. There are some keywords that of course I have seen in Oracle decks before, but I just like the whole look and feel of this deck, and I think that it is a wonderful deck for shadow work. I think it's a wonderful deck, you know, for life mapping. I think it's a deck that can be used for divination and fortune telling if that's your bag. I think it's a very intuitively stimulating type of deck, and I have nothing but good things to say about this gorgeous beauty. So here we are. That is the Oracle of Echoes by Tourian. This is a self-published deck, I should say, as well. The next deck that I would like to show you is an oldie but a goldie. At one point in my card slinging career, I thought that this was my absolute all-time favorite Oracle deck, and so it still warms the cockles of my heart, pulls the heartstrings a little bit. And of course I'm talking about the Gaia Oracle. So the Gaia Oracle is a Blue Angel deck that was created by Toni, Carmine, Salerno, and it of course embodies the archetypal energies of Mother Gaia, or the Earth Mother. So it is a rich in earth energy themed deck, and I happen to find this to be a very, very beautiful deck. I think it's a very soft deck, and even though it has some deeper types of themes running through it, I still think that it leans towards the softer side, and I think that has a lot to do with the artwork and, you know, just the entire look and feel, the color palette. Winter's End, that's a beautiful one. I absolutely love and adore this deck, I must admit, and even though I have come to push it down my list of favorites, it's still a fave, I must admit. It will never not be a favorite, but I'm not as in love with it as I used to be, and so I thought that if I bring it out for this particular spring, then maybe I will learn a little bit more about it. I'll learn to love it again and get the absolute most out of it, because I do like to rotate my decks, and I do like to make sure that I work, with all of my decks. And so this beautiful oracle deck is the Gaia Oracle by Toni, Carmine, Salerno. Next I have this beauty. This is Soul Cards 1. I did for the longest time rock Soul Cards 2, which I believe has a softer, much more feminine feel. But this is Soul Cards 1, and I've got to say that when I pulled it out, it was just like reacquainting myself with an old friend. This is a really, really intricate, very intuitive type of deck. It is a deck with stunning artwork. It was created by Deborah Koff-Chapin, and I've got to say, it never disappoints. This deck is unnumbered, has no keywords, and has been specifically designed to really stimulate your intuitive faculties and to get you relying on what your inner voice has to say about these cards. Now, the artwork is really unique, it's quite evocative, and you do have a response, an intuitive response to each of them, and sometimes being given the opportunity to listen to that intuitive response is the biggest gift possible, and this deck will give you that gift because it is just straight up awesome in that way. The artwork is a bit of a trip out, I must admit. When I looked at this deck, it wasn't because of the artwork, it was because of the idea that there is this almost formlessness to it that is so alluring. And so I just fell in love with it, and I remember the first time I saw this image here, and it was in Cricket Songs, Luna Wisdom's video many years ago. I only had 2 children when I bought this deck, and now I have 3, and my youngest child is 3, so I've had it for a long time, and I have used it to death, and I have loved it, and I have stashed it away, and now I'm pulling it out again, and it is with me. Soul cards, either 1 or 2, are with me on my table during every single one of my readings. If I'm doing an oracle, short and sweet oracle reading, it's here. If I'm doing an ancient past reading, it's here. If I'm doing some spirit work, it is here. And I just have to have it, and I love it. So that's Soul Cards 1 back on my table. Woohoo! The next deck that I'm going to show you is called the Wisdom of the Trees Oracle. This is the guidebook for the Wisdom of the Trees Oracle. It's by Jane Struthers. Now, I should have mentioned this before, that not all of these decks that I'm showing you today do have guidebooks, so obviously this one does because I've just showed you it. Soul Cards 1 does not, for obvious reasons. The Gaia Oracle does because it is a Blue Angel deck and they always release a lovely little guidebook, and the Oracle of Echoes does not. So let's get back to it. This is a very new deck to my collection, and I must say that I've only had one play with it, which is why I've got it out here for springtime. Now, the first time that I played with this deck, I pulled the banyan tree, and the banyan tree was such a powerful message at the time of delivery, because it was just around the time that my uncle had passed, and I pulled a card in relation to my father's experience with sorrow and how I could help him, and this card came to me, and I've got to say it had me damn near in tears, and I just thought, I'm going to work with you. So obviously it's the Wisdom of the Trees, and so we have these very small cards. Like, in relation to other cards, it's a very small sized deck, but it has such a wonderful variety of trees, and it has trees from all parts of the world, and I just think that they have been so beautifully illustrated, and they have such, oh, look at the hawthorn. I met a hawthorn spirit the other day. I was so excited. And I just think that the illustration is soft, it's gentle, it's beautiful, and each of the trees themselves do have a great write-up, and one that really pulls at the heartstrings, I must say. It's a very spiritual deck, and one that is absolutely beautiful to use. And my first experience with it was just lovely, I've got to say. And I'm still working with the banyan, and I'm still working with that message, which is why I'm not going to mix it into the deck again. So there you have it, beautiful souls. We had the Wisdom of the Trees Oracle. We had Soul Cards 1. We had the Gaia Oracle here, and we had the Oracle of Echoes. There are 4 beautiful decks that I intend to use during this springtime to help me better tap into the energies of spring and creation and blossoming in the best way possible. I sincerely hope that you've enjoyed this video. Wishing you so much love, luck, peace and joy. Take care. Peace. See ya.